Hello.
Greetings. Greetings, everybody. It's Patrick here from Eight Questions With. As you see, we have a pair of guests for today's show. We have Loki, the god of mischief, right here. And we have the lovely Katherine Shannon will be here with us as well, talking with us. Wow, just can't wait to sink our teeth into this. Yeah, you've had a really interesting career.
Thank you.
Very much so. And we're going to be talking about that. I think we're going to be talking a little bit about books too, because
Oh yeah.
we're just talking a little bit and realizing that we're huge fans of Neil Gaiman and Philip Pullman and probably a lot more other authors that we can talk about as well.
Yeah. No
This may
problem.
be a rare thing to hear these days, but as far as the English writers go, I'm a huge J.K. Rowling fan.
There's
I
nothing
enjoy
weird about that. It was just obviously controversy about her attitude and what she said about trans.
I
Her
just like her
writing,
reading.
considering it took her 20 years to actually get an acceptance, I think it's amazing.
I don't care about her personal views. I just know that she wrote a tremendous series and
Well, she got kids reading again, and actually, queuing up at midnight to get the next book, which I can only celebrate. Seriously.
Yeah, that is a interesting. I guess we could talk a little bit about that while we wait for some folks to get here, because people will be watching this on the replay. And Loki is, in the filmmaking world, it's called stealing scene.
I know, darling. I know. Don't work with children or animals, and here I am.
Yeah, but you know what though? But cats aren't animals; they're just people with fur.
I think that's insulting to cats.
Oh, I am enamored of Loki here. I think he's just awesome looking.
He's actually finding you very interesting because obviously he's watching this.
Yeah. This is most of the time. It's always been Paladin. Paladin always comes up there when he was much younger. When he was around Loki's age. When I first started doing the show, he would jump on my desk and he would walk across the screen like this. He really doesn't do that too much now, but
Loki normally, because I get up really early in the morning to do writing. He can't stand it. He hates it, and he's gosh knows how many times he's walked across my laptop and destroyed everything I've just done. And
you've gotten used to hitting save after every sentence you write. You're hitting save.
I mean, you just kind of assume that your computer's going to do that, but no, I've kind of got that. But also, I turn the lid down if I walk out the room. So I mean, it's adjacent. It's not down, so I haven't lost anything. But if I don't know, I need to blow my nose or something, I do that because I'm thinking, don't you dare, you god of mischief, don't you dare.
Have you convinced him to like, if you bring mom tea, I'll give you a treat.
That doesn't work with this guy.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't work for me either.
No. I'm he just kind of tells me when he wants stuff and how he wants stuff, and well, you can see he's looking at me now because he knows I'm talking about him.
Is he pretty talkative?
Oh, when he wants food.
Oh.
Yeah, which is at 5 a.m. He will, if I don't wake up when he wants me to wake up, he'll knock everything off my bedside cabinet until I get cross, and then I'll get up and feed him, and then he just wants cuddles, and I'm like, I'm still in my pajamas, please let me get dressed.
Oh my gosh. So how he looks like a pretty good sized boy there. Is he big cat? Yeah.
He's very heavy as well. When he jumps on me in the morning, my gosh, you can't not wake up, because this is like, it feels like an elephant jumping on you. Obviously, I don't know what an elephant jumping on me would be like, but that's how it feels.
The Paladin, he's a great weather forecaster. I noticed this. I think I probably with Loki, I think you could find this out too. But I always know when the weather's going to change before it does. And how I know that is on his chest. If you look at, like during the summertime when your cat loses a lot of fur,
Sure.
it sheds out. But once it starts getting colder, the fur thickens up, especially around the chest.
Yeah.
And so when I pet Paladin, I'm pretty sensitive to his fur, so I can see when it starts getting denser, I know that it's going to start getting chillier. And sure
Right.
enough, yeah, he jumped on me today, and we're talking, I'm petting him, going like, "Oh boy, your fur is getting thick here." It's like,
It's
okay.
going to get cold. Yeah. No, I
Now
tell you
I'm
what
looking at you.
is interesting about this boy is he is fascinated by full moons. We had a blood moon yesterday that was up all night and all morning, and he was just at the window staring at it hard. And I thought, oh my gosh, the magic's happening. He's getting the same kind of sense of peace and calm that most people do when they see the moon looking like that. And it's 100% a full moon. But I didn't realize it was a blood moon. I mean, I live by the sea. So our winds and, weather, you don't necessarily see everything beautifully. But also when it's actually covered in, I mean, I live where Turner used to paint in a place called Margate in Kent. And France is opposite me. So the skyline is just magnificent. But yeah, he's in love with the moon. It makes him really calm.
Oh, that's really, I don't know. Well, sometimes Paladin will watch a movie with me. Like sometimes he'll watch
Yeah.
I mean, the other day we were watching a movie, and he stayed with me. You know what it was? It
What
was
were you watching?
Columbo.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We watched the episode of Columbo,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
and he stayed with me for the whole 90 minutes.
Did he repeat anything? I mean, was he kind of
No, but
intrigued?
he saw the murder. He saw the
Okay.
murder, of course. He was like, he's like, what? He's like, what's taking that guy so long?
Yeah, my grandfather introduced me to that, and I remember the very first time I watched it. I think I was 8 or something, and I watched it, and I kind of went, "Why are we watching this old guy in a terrible, dirty coat?" And then I got into it after 10 minutes, and I completely shut up, and I behaved.
It's funny. It's funny. It's like I love British detective shows. Oh,
What's your favorite?
I found Agatha Raisin.
Okay.
I found The Last Detective, which I adored.
Yeah.
That's there's a company called Acorn, and they put out a lot of the British and Australian and New Zealand series. And so every week, Catherine, I go to my local library, and they have a book. They have a bookstore within the library. So I go inside, and I look for movies to buy. So far, I've gotten pretty much all the Prime Suspects. I got the whole series.
Awesome.
I got the whole series. Cracker.
Awesome again. Sorry, but Robbie Coltrane is superb in that.
I had to try. Well, I love Robbie Coltrane. When I first saw Robbie Coltrane, I really wasn't impressed. But then I saw him do a James Bond movie, and in it,
he's a dodgy Russian or something, isn't he?
Yes, he was a really cool character, and I was bummed out when they killed him off. I was like, wow, he was so great. You were looking forward to seeing him in the next movie, and then they, but then I heard about Cracker, and I heard nothing but good things about it. And then I walked in, and someone had donated the entire. Well, first I got the last episode, or not the last episode that came out. This episode came out after the series ended. It was like a special wrap up for the fans. I got that, and then a little while later, I walked in, and someone had donated the entire series, and so I was able to pick up that series. I don't know if I even should tell you, because you'll probably just like. I got it for 75 cents.
Ow! Okay.
but it's awesome.
Life
I
is
mean,
like
it's
that
awesome.
now because nobody buys DVDs. So
No, everybody. Well, they're starting to come back over here. People are starting to come back and buy them again. But you're right. I mean, it's
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 all streaming.
they don't only buy them. The only reason why they're told they don't buy them is because they're told not to. And it's like,
Who
why?
tells them that? Who tells them
People, just all the studios, like all the studios tell them that. Yeah, they take away your choice because they don't put them on shelves anymore. So if you go to a store and you look for a DVD section or Blu-ray section, at least over here in America, a lot of those stores, they no longer carry them on the shelves. It's their way of forcing you to go to streaming. That's their way of doing it, which is ass backwards because it's like, why would you do that?
I
Because
know.
you're
No,
not
I
making any money.
totally agree with you. And I mean, swear down, if Loki wasn't here, I'd turn my laptop around so you could see my DVD collection. And I'm proud of it because I've got extras, I've got BTS, I've got all sorts of stuff that isn't on a streaming platform. And
Right.
also then I can watch it whenever I feel like it and not have to pay for it again. Thank you very much. These are
Yes.
my films, and some I've watched too many times, and that it is probably healthy. But if I love something, the thing I find hardest about watching a film as a filmmaker is when I start watching it as a creative. So I'm looking at the shots, I'm looking at the lighting, I'm looking at the costumes, all of that bit. But when I've watched it enough and I can just be a punter, it's bliss. It's absolute bliss. I mean, I'm not ashamed to tell you how many times I've seen Shaun of the Dead. I mean, every single time I find something new. And the same with In Bruges. I hope you've seen it.
Yes, with Colin
And
Farrell.
my partner and I both actually went to Bruges a couple of weeks ago and tried to recreate the whole thing without shooting people, obviously. But we literally on our first day, and we bumped into a midget, and I was thinking, this isn't possible. This is not possible. And the only thing we missed out on was the fat Americans going up the belfry. They weren't. Nobody fat was going up that belfry, and I was just like desperate to find someone just to kind of get that shot. But anyway, it was our little homage.
I have seen that movie when it first came out. God, I need to catch up on that. But I definitely agree with you about Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. Yes.
The Summer
Probably
Pig is wonderful, and and Mr. Frost. I mean, what a team! And the fact that they were flatmates with my mate Michael Smiley, who's now in Blue Lights. I don't know if you've heard of this police series over here, but
no, Blue Lights is new to me.
Yeah,
How long?
it's all set in Belfast. They're on series 3 now.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe it hasn't been shown in the States yet. I don't know, because the accents are really, really hard, even for a slot. So God knows what it'd be like for you guys.
So one of the few times I was just absolutely just furious at myself was one time I went in there and someone had donated. Someone is they must love a lot of British TV films or series. I walked in there and on the shelf, top shelf, they had 14 we call them series, 14 series of Midsummer Murders.
Oh my days!
Oh my gosh! And I'm going like, but it was like they wanted $40, and I was like, yeah, I was like, that's a really good price for 14 seasons. But I dragged my ass on it, and I'm going like, you know what? They're asking for $40. It'll be there next week because no one's going to pay $40 at the used library.
Sure.
Yeah. It's the last time I do that, right? So I go in there and I look. The first place I go, I said I'm going to pick it up, and it was like, where did it go? It says, Oh yeah, about after about an hour after you left, someone came in and picked up the whole thing. I was
Oh,
just so I said from now on, when I see something like that, grab it. Which was
yeah,
really interesting, and because I was just hating it because I know that series is extremely popular, and I also fell in love with the Murdoch mysteries. That's
yes,
based in Canada.
yeah,
Oh
yeah. I
man,
know, I know. But the thing
uh,
I would say about Midsummer Murders that makes me laugh a lot is why the heck would anybody move there? Because you're going to
yeah.
be killed. You are going to be killed. It's a law of averages.
Uh-huh.
So
You,
just
you, you,
don't do it.
you think that every time someone moved into the town, the mayor would be there with a red shirt saying, "Welcome to our town. Here, put this red shirt on." Because in Star Trek, if you wore a red shirt, you get killed.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. So now you have worked on a lot of these films and TV shows. You have worked. You've done a little bit of acting.
yeah,
And
back in
you
the day.
work and yeah, and you were assistant director for the BBC.
Yeah.
Um, that is cool as hell. That's really what I wanted to talk about because and you're also a festival judge. Now I have a
And festival
feeling
winner as well for my own films.
I have a feeling the way you guys do festivals in the UK is a lot better and probably a lot cleaner than we here do it in the
What do you
US.
mean by cleaner? Sorry.
Which means that you will watch a movie based on what the movie is. As far as naming a best actor or best actress,
Uh-huh.
more than over here, where a lot of its influence, a lot of the actors and best, the best in festival, it's motivated by.
Ah, the mighty dollar. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, you're absolutely right. Over here, everything is to do with the actual art of whatever the film is. So, I mean, some festivals are very specific about what subject matter they want to focus on. So, I've done festivals that are just to do with beautiful stuff about sustainability and the power of nature. But I've also worked on festivals which have been horror films, and I'm not a massive horror buff, which actually helped me because I just watched it as a punter and behaved myself instead of just looking at the camera work. So, yeah, I'm on. Oh God, I'm on, and the BFI. I'm on their team as well. So yeah, so I'm part of 6 festivals now. But actually, it's
wow.
obviously it can be a chore from time to time because you see something that is truly ghastly and you wish you hadn't seen it and wasted 20 minutes of your time or what have you.
Now, is that ghastly as far as just like
It's dreadful. I
oh,
mean,
really? So like watching Louisa Warren. Uh, oh, you know her.
no, no. Oh, yes. Oh,
Oh,
yes, I do. Yes, yes, yes. No, I do, but I don't want to talk about it.
oh, allow me.
Okay, go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay. So, like, honestly, heaven, I that's the worst director I've ever seen in the UK. That's the worst. I've tried to watch her movies. I just stunned by just how illogical they are, and just how I just I was forced to watch one for a friend of mine. We did a and Eric, if you're hearing this, I'm still planning my revenge, my ultimate revenge. So we did a contest, and Sharks versus Schlock. I picked out some shark movies for him to watch, and he picked out some Schlock movies, and he gave me one of her films, not knowing that I would do anything not to watch anything from her. Uh, I was just like, and then I had to watch one as a Leprechaun's Curse, and I was like this, Catherine. I was like,
I don't
I
even
was
like the title, so
oh, it's just oh, it's the worst. We have a director over here like this, in the U.S. that is just really bad. His name is Dustin Ferguson, and
okay.
they're like this as far as what's the worst, like, because I get asked that a lot. I'm sure you get asked that too. It's like, what's, you probably get asked what's the worst movie you've seen, probably more than what's the best movie that you've seen, because it's a lot more, it's a lot more fun to talk about bad movies than it is to talk about good movies, because there's more laughters involved. Do you find that to be true? I mean, when people come up to you,
I personally don't, because to be quite honest, if something is truly awful, I'm in it for 10 minutes and then I'm out. I don't need to see anything worse, and I can see what the plot's going to entail, and I can see who's going to die, and it's just like, oh, don't bore me. But with films that I love, I literally, as we were talking about Shaun of the Dead and In Bruges, every single time I see something different. And by the way, talking about the books thing that you mentioned, I seriously, heartily recommend to you the book about how they actually made Shaun of the Dead, which was like pulling teeth trying to raise money for it.
God,
which is called You've Got Red on You, and you'll know the quote, so I don't need to explain that. But it's absolutely fabulous because it gives every filmmaker hope. If Martin Scorsese takes 10 years to get money for Gangs of New York, then these boys, again, 10 years. And no one had any faith in it because people went, well, it's not funny. It's just two blokes messing about. And essentially, yes, it is. And obviously, for British culture, the fact that it's all centered around a pub is hilarious to us. But how does that translate over your side of the pond?
We loved it.
Pubs are not for you guys. I mean, Cheers was, an exception that the same people go every single day to a particular bar. But I mean, every time I've been to the States, you guys don't drink, whereas in Britain, we're always in a pub.
Well, I mean, as far as people drinking goes, sadly to say that, I mean, it shot up during the COVID, like drinking shot up.
Everything did, everything died.
And then it slowly has gone down. But what has stayed true is that is drunk driving. There's a lot of people. There's a lot more.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. There goes Loki.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's off to cause mischief. Yeah, we unfortunately we have a lot of higher, and our laws are really weak. I mean, you literally have to kill somebody in order for you to be punished. As far as drinking and driving.
Is that real?
Yeah, drink drive laws here are really piss poor. You'll see someone get arrested and they'll sit there and say, well, they're driving on a suspended license. Their license has been suspended 20 times, or they've been arrested for drunk driving for 6 times. It literally is, someone has to die before that person is dealt with.
That is just shocking. I'm sorry. I'm really surprised. Because our laws, quite rightly, are really, really tight on this. And obviously, in the lead up to Christmas and New Year, even if you've had, say, half a lager, you're right on the edge of being punished. And that's half a lager, which I don't know how many units that is over your side, but it's only like 1 unit. It's not a biggie, but yeah, you can get into serious trouble.
Our friend Jerry has come into the chat and he says hello to us both, and he also agrees with what I just said. It's a slap on the hand. Yeah, I tell you one thing the Brits do really well too, though. I like watching your public safety films.
Really?
Oh man! I tell you, I don't drink myself, but they still scare the shit out of me. It's like, damn, it's like, because they're so powerful. And I'm like,
yeah, they're quite graphic. Yeah,
they're
quite graphic.
I'm just sitting there, just like blown away by them. Like, how come we only had one? We call them PSAs here. We only had like one series of PSAs that made your hair stand on end, and I don't think they make it. I don't think they're in business anymore. But
was this for alcohol or drug or what?
Yeah, it was for drugs. It was called the Montana Meth Project. And
Oh,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
That sounds like a
Oh,
good name for a series.
it's absolutely the commercials they have, the PSAs are terrifying. Um, so now let's get back to you. I guess we could talk about the festivals first.
Sure.
Yeah, so I know did you well, I guess you did. You were behind the scenes first. How did you get picked to do festivals? How does someone do, because obviously someone respected your opinion well enough to come up there and say, Catherine, would you consider being a judge and tell us what you think of these movies?
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well, firstly, it was because I got best film in a film festival, and various people approached me and said, "We loved your film." It was quite insane. I made it just after lockdown, so it was me taking the mickey out of advertising, but also celebrating. I'm happy to fess up. I nicked from Monty Python a lot of ideas about the end of lockdown, and the first AD on the film goes, "Great, we're all done. Let's go and have a pint." And then you go, "Oh, well, we can't." And you get the kind of like, "Hey, oh." And then anyway, the big finger comes down from God and says, "Pub open," and everyone skips off into the sunset. Anyway, it made a lot of people laugh, and funnily enough, it's still going. And this is 3 years later, which astonishes me. But it's making people laugh everywhere, so that can't be a bad thing.
No,
So
not at
that's
all.
initially why I got picked. But I mean, it's my involvement with other production houses. I don't have my own website because I had to take it down because I got some very unpleasant trolling involved. So I'm on LinkedIn, and I get a lot of work out of that. People just kind of go, "Well, we're doing a TV series. Do you want to
What
be part?"
were they trolling you about because of your movie?
Uh, I don't know really, because I don't understand trolling at all. I don't know
I don't
why
either.
anybody would do it. I don't have time in my day to be unpleasant to people.
No.
Don't get me
I mean,
wrong. I can think it. I can definitely think it about certain people. But I just, I wouldn't. It's not part of me at all. At all.
I don't get it either. I mean, I understand people do it with gaming and they do it with politics, but movies, I've never been trolled for a movie.
Oh, do you
No
want me
one's
to
ever
troll
come
you
on.
now?
Huh?
Do you
Yeah,
want me
yeah.
to troll you just to see what it's like? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, someone could pass on my reviews to Louisa. I'm sure I get some trolling there.
I still can't
But
talk
you know
about
what?
that.
But I would welcome that. I would welcome that. I really would, because I'd be ready for it. How dare you talk about you? You know what? Sit down for a minute. I'll tell you. Uh, but yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand.
I think it's weird. I think these people are sad and lonely and just kind of want to
Mhm.
take it out on somebody else. I just don't see the point. When let's face it, life is short.
Yeah.
Just have as much fun as you can and make people happy, but don't be horrible.
No.
Just
No.
don't be
No.
horrible. You don't have to be horrible. So don't do
No.
it.
I mean, I would think that during, I guess that's part of the part about being a judge at a festival is the fact of the matter is that, you know, maybe you don't like the movie. Maybe the movie you watched, you didn't like it. Okay, that's fine. But you know what? No one's going to know that because I'm not going to give them that. My
Yeah,
face is going to stay
yeah,
neutral. If I like this movie, I liked it. If I didn't like this movie, I didn't like it. But my face is always going to be like plain because I don't want people to realize, oh, Catherine's smiling. That's good for our movie. Oh,
yeah.
Catherine's not smiling. She's not smiling, which means she thinks she doesn't like our movie too much. And a lot of people, but I think festivals judges I think it's an important job. in the industry. I
It
do.
is. I mean, but also remember, I mean, there's 6 months worth of work before anybody sees anything. So you've got to rate them and review them and decide whether it should be entered. But because that's just like a star system, so 5 stars if it's a top film, 1 if it's absolute crap, you don't have to say anything personal. It's just that is your reaction to it. You don't have to say, oh, well, it started well, but the middle was rubbish and it lost me. And you don't have to comment like that.
No,
the only difference is
not.
by the time you choose the films that are going to win, you're actually sitting in a room with people debating it. So you might fight hard for a film that nobody else likes. It's completely different. Other times you just all agree and just go, well, that was superb, or that was absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
How did the leprechaun's curse make it in here anyway? Oh. who put this in here?
Yeah. Why?
So
no, as you said earlier, it's the mighty dollar. That's why, because everybody has to pay to put into a festival.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
Everybody
you guys
has to pay.
Okay. What? How much does it cost? For
it depends which country it's in and what they think that they themselves are worth. So, for instance,
international festivals.
Yeah. I mean,
nice.
I don't want to brag, but I'm going to. When I got Best Female Director at the Mumbai International Festival for my silly film, Crisp and Zombies, I was absolutely astonished and thrilled, obviously, that the Indian audience after COVID just found it hilarious. And the fact that it's me taking the mickey out of English people as well, because I think that's actually one of the best things we do in this country is we just seriously take the mickey out of ourselves and actually not necessarily out of anybody else. I mean, yeah, I'm part Irish, so obviously In Bruges for me was hilarious because I understood those boys so well, and I thought if your mammies could see you now, you'd be in so much trouble. And they wouldn't be gunmen then; they wouldn't because they'd be too scared. You don't.
I'm actually looking at your cast list for Crisp and Zombies, and I really like the idea. I mean, I always look at people who don't have a face on next to their picture on IMDb. It's just sort of like they're just sort of new to the game. But I like the cast looking. It looks like you had a lot of fun doing this movie.
We did, and I'm seriously blessed by the extras essays who turned up, because I said, come as anything you want. So we had a mixture of drag queens, we had a Harry Potter, we had ballet dancers, we had witches, we had wizards, we had, I mean, anything anybody wanted to come as, there they were. So none of my cast knew, I didn't know, and we just shot everything. And I mean, thank God I had a very good drone operator as well. So when we were doing the Michael Jackson Thrill routine with everybody as they were, it was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And you can't direct that. All I said to the choreographer was, I sent it to her and said, can you just kind of make sure they roughly do Thriller? I mean, it does not have to be perfect. In fact, it's brilliant if it's not.
Right.
But that is seriously my second favorite scene. My first favorite scene is when I've got this incredibly handsome young actor looking like a Viking, and he did 100% look like a Viking. And then I had his sex double come onto set, who is absolutely nothing like him. And I won't go into detail. I want you to watch it at some point, but it's absurd. And I just let the camera roll. Obviously, they knew their lines, but I didn't try to direct it because I was crumbling in pieces with laughter because it was so perfect. And if you didn't have to do 2 takes, I wouldn't have done it. But obviously, you have to have the safety take But otherwise, I was just like going, oh, I can't, and I had to try really hard not to laugh. It was perfect, absolutely perfect.
I think Michael Jackson's music. I mean, I've seen Thriller used in several different films. Probably the most well noted one was 13 Going on 30 with
Yeah.
how much fun it is to be able to choreograph a piece like that, and it fits in every movie. I mean, let's do Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's bulletproof. You know that if you put that in your movie, especially if you have a comedy, it's going to work.
The thing is, obviously, because to pay Michael Jackson's estate for Thriller would have cost me all my budget. So what I did was I sent everything to the choreographer and to Thriller, because everybody knows it. I mean, everybody in the world knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my composer to do his version of it. So it was a complete cheat, and but it's deliberately sort of a bit rubbish, because everybody in it is a bit rubbish. The actors are terrible. I mean, sorry, the actors playing the actors, not the real actors, because they're wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, as I say, it was just my frustration over COVID, and I wrote and directed 4 Zoom films during COVID, because I thought everybody needs to keep working, because otherwise we're going to go bonkers.
How Catherine, did people work in the UK? Were there film projects in the UK?
Nothing was open. Nothing was open. You couldn't go to a funeral. You couldn't go to a birthday party. You couldn't do anything at all. It was.
I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but there was so much being done over here. I was shocked. I was shocked, because I was like you. I thought, okay, everybody's gonna be coming out of COVID. I bet you couldn't wait to get back into it. And we're like, we were in it all along. I was like, what? And it's just, yeah, we were making movies all along. And then you go back and rewatch the movies, and all of a sudden you realize that they're right. And that's because you watched where people stood. You notice them standing 6 feet apart, and going like, you didn't see that before. When you're watching the movie, you're going, oh, okay. But then we watch it again. It's like, oh yeah, I can see what they're doing. They weren't, there's no intimate scenes here, or no handshaking or anything. Oh, this is, but it worked. And a lot of people kept busy during the, of course, a lot of them were doing it, on the underground too, especially LA. Is London an expensive city to shoot in?
Oh, yes.
I like the way you said that.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's funny. One of my latest scripts, I desperately wrote it for a couple of scenes to be shot in the Shard. I won't tell you exactly why that's important, but it is. Anyway, it's a thriller. It's about a lady who's 2 different people. But anyway, I want the Shard because the views are just spectacular. But golly gee, is that expensive? And trying to get, excuse my French, but hairy-ass film crew up there on the sly is not the easiest thing I'm going to have to achieve. Do you know what I mean? Because there's all this kit coming up, and you're going, no, I've just booked a room. Yes, I know I've got 15 gentlemen coming into my room, but that's my business. So you just got to bust it.
Just because there's 15 men in here, one girl, we can still, we're making a movie. What? Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. Now you have worked on a lot of different shows as an assistant director.
Yeah.
And or you've been a director of the second unit. So what does a second unit director do? Does he or she, what is their role in the film?
Right. So if I give you an example, working for the BBC for a series called Hetty Feather, which is for children, but set in the Victorian era. The schedule is so stupidly tight. The first unit has priority over the second unit. So you're obviously working with the same actors, and with child actors, obviously you've got to be very, very cautious about how long they work, because they're only allowed to work, depending on their age, but say 20 minutes or 40 minutes per hour. So the tightness on that is just ridiculous. And we were working in this huge Victorian mansion, and the weather decided, because it's England, to absolutely hoy it down. So kind of moving from one section of the estate to another section of the estate meant we were all drowned, whilst trying to keep the children. Sorry, say that.
Was the building leaking?
No. It's called English weather.
Okay.
So you're walking.
I thought you were inside the house and it was leaking on you guys.
No. What you did get inside the house, because stately homes and stuff, is the wind. Wow. Does that belt, I mean, God knows what the sound guys did, but they were wonderful. But all we could hear was windows rattling and floorboards squeaking, and you're just going, this is not my problem. So I'll just let the boys do this. But yeah, I mean, working with children. And I remember at the end of one day, the weather had been spectacularly bad, and I had 1 minute to finish a particular scene, and it was pouring with rain for sorry, Loki's coming back. 1 minute, and the producer's going absolutely apeshit crazy, going, look at the time. And I went, just let me do the scene. And we got it done. So.
Speaking of stealing scene, here comes Loki.
Hey, this is Loki.
Oh my gosh, how you doing, Loki?
See how handsome he is, and his eyes. I don't know if you can see, but they're completely green. They're emeralds.
He is.
He's going to take over. Okay.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Hi.
So, Loki, have you seen the Leprechaun's Curse? What's your thoughts on it?
There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Absolute silence.
You know what's funny? Before I started doing this, right? I started reviewing, and I was brand new to it. I mean, brand new to reviewing. And the second movie that I ever reviewed was this movie called Seattle Superstorm, and it was just a cheesy sci-fi channel movie, but it was so cheesy. And this is my first time and the second time I reviewed a movie, and so I was super harsh on it. And I ended up putting the cover of the DVD inside Paladin's litter box.
Oh no!
So
okay.
Later on, I ended up talking to the director, and I owned up to that, and I said, I was so brand spanking new. Well, I went back and I rewatched the movie, because now I could actually review it. I rewatched the movie, and now I know about budgets, and I know about directing. I know about that's so cute. I learned about how a movie's made, and I understand the business now, whereas before I didn't. And so I realized that the director had actually done a really good job with what he had done. He actually did a really good job with the budget he had. And so I went back, and I rewrote. I actually did that, and actually redid my review. I took the picture down, and then I redid the review. And I'm saying, now I'm looking at it through different eyes. Someone who's now I don't understand what a movie's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Still not going to save it. Still not going to save Leprechaun. It's going to be shit from the day one to shit to the last day on the planet.
I mean,
but there's some movies that can't be helped. Hi, Dominic. How are you, sir? Dominic is a.
Hello, everybody. This is Loki.
Loki's Dominic is he's an aspiring filmmaker himself. He wants to shoot an anthology film, so I'm always glad to see him here. hopefully he picks up some tips. And the first tip is don't do leprechaun movies.
I swear down, as an Irish person, I'd actually agree with that. Just don't mess with them. It's like when people think fairies are soft and fluffy and wearing pink dresses. No, they're not. No, they're not.
No.
They're very, very bad people.
I happen to adore one Irish director, and I'm sure once I drop the name, you'll know her. But she was one of my very favorites on the planet. She did a movie called The Devil's Doorway.
Yes.
Oh, you know who? And that would be Ashleen Clark. Adore her so much.
And well done for pronouncing it properly.
How is it?
No, because most people, even over here, for instance, my daughter is called Neve. Now, in America, you spell it Neve, but the Irish way of spelling it is Niamh. So when she first went to school, everyone called her Niam. And she's a feisty little thing, and she stood up very proudly, 5 years old, going, "It's Neve." It's Irish. It means I'm a radiant princess, which it does mean. It does mean.
So it is Ashlyn, right?
Yes.
Okay, Ashlyn. So she goes by Ash too, but I love her full name more, so I always call her Ashlyn.
I do.
So I think she's fantastic. I think she's.
Do you like Neil Jordan?
Yes. I'm a big fan of Neil Jordan. I saw The Crying Game.
Wow.
And that's
I've worked with Kathy Tyson, and she is such a funny lady. I think spectacularly beautiful. But she's as scouse as heck. And, we struggle with scouse over here. So God knows what it's like for you lot. I thought there'd be subtitles or something. But yeah, no, she's lovely. And she's in Blue Lights, which I mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay. Now, I just think, well, I guess there was one question. I'm looking at like I said, I'm looking at your body of work here. You've done a lot of cool things. You've worked on a lot of cool series. And what's really cool about it is you get to work on do you work on every episode of every project? Like if you do a TV show, are you there for every single show of that season?
That happens very rarely because everybody's freelance. Because, for instance, the BBC don't actually have employees because of things like national insurance and tax and whatever. So you get employed per block, perhaps. So, maybe you'll do 6 episodes, but then somebody else will do the next 6. So, and it's like, something like EastEnders. Literally every week there's a different director.
Oh wow, that's now if you're now a different director, but as a second unit director, aren't you there in house? Basically, you're this. No matter who the director is, you're. Oh, okay. And another thing, could you explain to me too? This is straight because I'm not sure exactly how this works. Do people have to pay to watch TV?
Yeah.
I mean, even regular TV, like the BBC. Yeah. They have to pay to watch it.
Yeah, it's something, to be honest, there's been a campaign against for quite some time because the BBC was created for the nation as an accessible resource, but now it is ridiculously expensive. And as you say, most people are streaming now. They don't use BBC, but the money all goes to them. So the laws, I think, will be changing quite shortly because seriously, if you don't pay your TV license, you could be taken to court, which I think is absurd. Take a burglar to court for sure, but someone watching, a laptop or a streaming series, but you haven't paid your BBC license, even though you're not watching the BBC, I don't see what the heck it's got to do with them. So
that is bizarre, Catherine.
I know.
So they don't want to watch see how we have regular network TV, and then we have cable TV, and then we have streaming. I cut the cord years ago. I don't have TV at all. I watch everything I watch is on it's on Blu-ray, or if it's on Blu-ray or DVD,
Yeah.
or I watch it. I watch. We have a free streaming. We have two over here that we watch. One's called Zumo, one's called Tubi, but they're free. But
Yeah,
just because
nothing over here is free. Nothing.
wow,
I mean,
that is
it's like,
crazy.
seriously, they go round with little vans with these antennae on to see if you're watching TV. And by law, they can break into your house.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, it sucks. It really, really sucks because, I'm not being patronizing, but say for a single retired person, if they want to watch golf on any network whatsoever, but they've forgotten to pay their TV license, they could be arrested. It makes no sense to me in any way, sense or form. And also, as I say, all the money goes to the BBC rather than us actually having the choice to pay for whichever channel we wish
How is
to.
this still
So
happening?
I pay
I mean,
for Amazon Prime, say, but that's my choice. So
that is bizarre. Are
I
they
know,
are is that for other TV stations too, or
no,
just the
no, no, no,
BBC?
no, no. It's the BBC. I mean, they had when they were formed, I think in 1930. It was just before the start of the war. It had a very strict set of rules that they had to stick by, which has obviously gone by the wayside over time. But at that point, people were just perhaps finding out what TV was. And I think it was only rich people who could afford a TV back then. So, you get whole streets full of people in one person's living room if they managed to buy a TV.
Yeah.
But it hasn't bogging changed since then.
That's
And,
bizarre.
it's so antiquated. I'm slightly embarrassed about the whole thing, but I'm also angry about it because I think it's deeply, deeply unfair. So even if I watch a film on my phone, they're going to know.
That's just bizarre. I mean, to me, it's like,
I
you
mean,
know what?
Big Brother is Big Brother.
I put my TV out in the rubbish. I don't have a TV. I only watched on a laptop. I don't have any, this is all and they still could come in here and do that. How is that still happening today? I mean, you would
I don't
think
know,
that would,
us in the industry, and I'd say probably 70% of the British public absolutely want it to stop. We're not saying we don't believe in the BBC, but if I want to have the BBC, then I would like the choice rather than being threatened with bloody jail time if I don't pay for my TV license. But I hardly ever watch TV, partly because of our cost of crisis thing over here. If I have too many electrics on, then I'm stuck with a bill of £100 a week. So yeah,
£100 a week.
I don't watch films on my mobile phone because I actually think that's kind of rude to filmmakers. But
Right. Yeah. Right. I watch it. I watch it. I watch it on my desktop. I watch the streaming on desktop, and then I have a regular TV, and I watch the videos and DVDs and Blu-rays on that.
yeah,
Wow, that is bizarre.
I know.
So
I'm sorry if I'm freaking you out, but it's just one of those quirky
I
things.
didn't know I didn't know quite how it went. I'd be
No,
reading
it's a
articles.
military state kind of affair. These guys are patrolling around in vans with these huge, huge aerials checking. And you're just going, but what's it got to do with you?
I don't understand how they.
I don't know
how they don't get
something
beat.
aggressive or I don't know, homophobic, then okay, fair. But I'm not. I'm just, watching whatever I feel like watching. Oh, I meant to say to you, I just finished watching a series called Lie to Me, which I'm sure you're aware of, with
Yes,
Tim Roth.
yes, it's
And
excellent.
I loved it. I mean, I was staying up to 2 a.m. because I couldn't stop watching it. And I just love the juxtaposition of obviously this absolutely barking mad English bloke with the American guys who are terribly serious most of the time. And you don't know if he's taking the mickey or if he's actually doing his job. But that's what I liked about it, because it shows, one, I mean, I think it's celebrating the quirkiness of English people, British people, sorry. But also the steadfastness of Americans taking their job terribly, terribly seriously. And I just think that is so funny. You've got, God knows what he's looking into or who's done what to whom. But that, for me, just that balance, you're actually looking forward to the contradictions between the main characters who turn up every week and go, oh, what are they going to do now? And what's he going to see? And I don't know about you, but I'm very, very concerned now every time I do that to my nose. I'm thinking, am I lying? Oh my God!
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really anxious.
Yeah, if you start thinking about that, it'll get in your head and stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, here, have a cup of tea. Here, why am I having to do it with my left hand? Now it's suspect I killed
exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Hey, let me turn around. Oh no, now I'm confused.
I raised my eyebrow. Oh my God! I frowned.
I love that show. That was like the first time that we saw Tim Roth over here playing on the side of the Angels. Most of the time, he's always playing the bad guy.
Yeah.
And but he's extraordinary.
But you must have seen him over here. I mean, Reservoir Dogs, surely.
We love.
Did you see Made in Britain?
We love all the English, all your productions over here. Some of our favorite actors are all British. Like the one actor,
Stephen Graham. Have you seen Adolescence over there?
What's it called?
Adolescence.
No, I haven't seen that. I have not seen anything. I have not seen anything on streaming service, and I just wait and hope that it gets released. But some of the actors, I do enjoy watching the actors. Like huge Rosamund Pike fan, massive fan of her, and super massive fan of Jared Harris. Jared Harris he's amazing.
Yes, he is. He's actually kind of underestimated, I think.
Oh, I think so too.
Do you know
I will watch him.
And I think it's great as he's got older. He doesn't look like his dad anymore.
No, I'll be honest with you. I saw a lot of Richard Harris's movies, and they were really good. I mean, he was really good. But I gotta tell you, his son is right there with him.
Oh, I actually think he's better.
Yeah, if not better.
I actually saw Richard Harris on stage, and it was a very small cast, 5 people maybe, and he was a bit hammy. He was kind of overplaying it, and I thought, you don't have to do that. But then I'd forgotten it. He hadn't done theatre for years and years and years, so he was doing it like old school, rather like and all this kind of stuff. And you're just going, no, just say the words, and we'll get it. We'll get it. It's like,
you guys are so blessed with talent, though. I mean, acting talent. You guys are so blessed. I mean, it's almost like you have too much. You have too much.
Well, we're not sharing.
But yeah, but that that comes to one of my other key questions for you too, Katherine. And please be honest with me here.
Of course.
So I've talked to a ton of UK performers, a lot. Actually, if you look at my playlist, you'll see I've talked to over 20 English, 20 British performers. My thing what kills me is the fact that it seems like on everything, a lot of times a lot of good actors go underneath the radar is because for every single big project there is, they always, I love Maggie Smith, I love Dame Judi Dench, but Jesus Christ, they can't have every role. They can't have every. I watched one movie.
Maggie can't anymore now. But I hope Judy goes on forever. I love the woman.
I watched and I reviewed Tea with the Doms.
Oh yeah. I loved it. Yeah. It made me giggle.
I bought that and I enjoyed that very much. But I watched one movie where it was set where there was 2 sisters and they discovered a pilot, and he had been shot down, and it's set during the war, and the two sisters find him and they bring him back to nurse him to health. Like the pilot's like in his early 20s. The book, the story that it's based on,
What's it
had
called?
this sister. Let me tell you. Let's see if I can find that. I'll go with Maggie, Judy.
Well, while you're doing that, I just wanted to say one thing I want to flag up is one of my great film heroes is Anthony Minghella. And The English Patient, I think, is probably one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. And because I love the book so much, I was a bit worried, but actually it surpassed itself. And when I was doing my dissertation at university, I approached him and said, can I come and work with you for a little while? And I waited ages for the response, thinking it's going to be a no. And yeah, it was like, yes, come. And the offices he had were, obviously he's Italian, so everybody had lunch together, chatted, talking nonsense. And my favorite moment, and I'm happy to share this with you, we were watching the edit of Breaking and Entering. So it was, just the edit. So there were thousands and thousands of pictures by Walter Murch everywhere. So every single moment was documented. But he sat there and he had no hair, right, with this huge piece of bubble wrap on his head. And when he liked something, he'd pop one.
Oh.
And in the end, I started to giggle. Because I'm looking at one of the most famous directors of his time at that point, pressing his head with bubble wrap when he was happy. Who knew?
Let's see if I can find this real quick. I was going to try to find her through Judy's, but she's just got so much. She got so much. So I'm going to go through with the young man. I'll find him, and then I'll tell you who it was.
Okay.
I can do that.
Can I also say to your good people, I've worked with Stephen Graham, and obviously you will have seen him in many, many, many things. But he is one of the best actors I've ever worked with in my life, because as a gentleman, I mean, as himself, he's the sweetest, kindest, loveliest husband, devoted father, etc. And then he's on screen and he's an absolute bastard. And I remember doing this shoot with him on a film called Gaslighting, which is about a particular form of child abuse. And he just let rip with our children in the film. And I burst into tears on the stairs because I thought, you can't talk to children like that. You must never speak to children like that. But the minute, obviously, the cut came, he was holding them tight. And actually, you know what they cared about most? They said, did we do a good job?
Wow.
Which shows how much they loved him. So, yeah. What do I know?
Let's see. I think I can find it a lot easier now because I went with Daniel Bruhl, and he's
a great actor.
He is. He definitely is. I'm trying to find this. They couldn't have took it off. Oh my God! Come on.
All right.
This is gonna drive me. Oh, Ladies in Lavender. That's what the movie was called. Ladies in Lavender.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the book, the story had the sisters as in their early 40s, and because one of them had a crush on the pilot, and it was Judi Dench and Maggie Smith playing the roles, and I'm going, Jesus Christ, it was like, yeah, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It was like, this is all wrong.
Have you seen the Exotic Marigold Hotel? I think the original one.
I love those. I have both.
And I mean, everybody in it is just sublime. I
Yes.
mean, there's a bunch of people just having a heap of fun together in India. And I felt terribly sorry for the young actor in it, going, well, good luck.
Oh, I love Dev Patel is amazing. I get everything that he does. Everything he does, I'll get. He's fantastic.
He was like 19 at the time or something crazy.
Yes, he was just a kid. Him and Frida Pinto were both very, very young. I think they just come off of a Slumdog Millionaire.
Yes, they had. Yeah, I think they'd had a few weeks off, so they, the publicity about Slumdog hadn't come out, so they didn't know quite kind of what hit it was going to be, and obviously Danny Boyle hadn't promoted it at that point, so yeah, they kind of went into it blinds, but I think that works for the film.
I was reading about that and how, I hate directors that do this or filmmakers that do this. I hate the ones that turn around and second guess what they've done. Because he said, well, and they talked to Danny Boyle as well, knowing what I know now, I would have done some things differently. And it's
we all say that.
I'm so glad that you didn't do that, because I don't want sanitized. I want your vision the way you had it.
Exactly.
And that's what we want.
Don't overthink it. Don't elaborate. Right. Just go with your guts and your instincts and tell something that's human.
One of my favorite
kind of being too clever. Do you know what I mean? Trying to go, look at me, I'm so brilliant and I'm so intelligent. No, let the audience decide that.
One of the things that I remember talking with Ash Clark about. Now I'm nervous to say her name. I remember her and I talked. This is one of my more interesting moments doing this show, and I remember how she had showed The Devil's Doorway to a crowd of 300 people. They came out and watched the movie, and she was doing an answer and question and answer afterwards. So there's 300 people in there, and they watched the movie, and afterwards there's 298 people that are sitting there going like, "This is a very good movie. There's two people there that were going like, I don't get it. I don't get it." And she was talking about them. She was sitting there going like, yeah, they came up and they're telling me, I don't understand what you're trying to do here. And I'm going like, you know what I would have did for that situation? I would have just give them the polite, brush off a little bit, give them a little pat answer, and then lean into the 298 people that loved your movie.
Yeah.
And I think that,
but that's easy to say, but I think, it's like when actors say, I don't read reviews anymore. That is absolute bollocks, because everybody does. Everybody does. Now, it's not a great idea if you've had a bad review, but if you get a good one, my God, are you smug about it? You're selling it to everybody. You're telling everybody, oh, look what happened in the Times today. Look. Ooh.
yes.
But if someone, says, abysmal or, whatever pretentious word they want to use in as a theatre or film critic in this country, because sometimes they like to sound like Stephen Fry and be very verbose with vocabulary, and you're just going, look, you're just saying someone's crap. Just say that. Instead, they're going, it was a spectacular failure and misunderstanding of the text, and you're going, yeah, whatever.
It's the role of a critic.
It's being honest.
Is the actual role of a critic, is it gone by the wayside because of social media? Social media is so prevalent. It's so because everybody's a critic on social media. Everybody.
Yeah, but that kind of actually makes them more important now, because, as you say, there are thousands of different forums where people discuss these things and can be published anywhere in the world, and whatever. But theatre critics, I know it sounds old school, but they're actually valued now, whereas everybody used to loathe and detest them. But now, they are educated in terms of the fact they have watched thousands of films or thousands of theatre shows. They aren't just watching one movie and giving that opinion. They're telling you everything about their history, their knowledge, their experience. And for me, there is a massive difference between a critic and an audience. So I've been to shows that have been completely slagged off, but I loved it. Like I remember a show called Art. I can't remember who it's written by, but anyway, it's a three-hander, and Stephen Fry was in it in the production I saw because it's been done all over the world, and it was produced by Sean Connery, strangely enough. But it really got slagged off for being too simple. And the concept is very simple. There is a piece of white canvas that everyone wants to spend millions of pounds on because it's interpretive. So you've got two characters going, well, that's utter bollocks because it's just a blank canvas. But the other character kind of goes, no, but I see this meaning and I see that meaning. And I like the fact that it made you kind of decide whether you believe the guys who saw nothing or the guys who saw everything.
Yeah, well, that's what makes that, yeah. I don't know if TV is nearly as subjective, or movies are nearly as subjective as art. I think art is so much more totally up for subjectiveness than film is. A film is, look, you don't need to be, you don't need to be an art critic or an art connoisseur, to look at some of them. Okay, I'm gonna try to behave myself. I'm not gonna make it.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't remotely behave yourself. Come on.
Okay, so let's take Leprechaun, right? Okay, so here we are watching. Okay. We're watching Luisa's movie. Okay.
Yeah, and now, I've already watched that, so okay.
Now I can sit here and, like, to me, people ask me, say, because I've done hundreds of reviews. I've done, but to me, I feel like I'm a much more qualified reviewer today, even though I don't really particularly like my own style of reviewing. I like to change it around a little bit, but I feel like when I can sit here and I can talk about a movie and on its, I could talk about The Devil's Doorway. I could talk about that movie for a couple hours.
Please don't.
Huh?
Don't.
Did you like The Devil's Doorway?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was talking about Louisa. I was just going.
God, no! I was gonna say I love The Devil's Doorway. The Devil's Doorway is one of the best horror films I've ever seen, and I love the first half of that movie. That was more terrifying than the back half. I was like,
don't you think what we were talking about earlier before we started, when we were talking about Neil Gaiman and mythology? For me, I mean, I just love mythology of any country. I don't care. I just love the idea of all these gods fighting over whatever, just like people. But they're malevolent, and they can do more dodgy things than we can.
Sure.
A quick bit of thunder here, or, the rains fall from heavens. But it's that kind of arrogance that you can portray in mythology. I mean, I remember reading the Odyssey when I was 14 because I was doing Greek literature at school. And I just thought, blimey, this is amazing. I don't know if I actually like anybody, but I'm thoroughly engaged. And it was the first time, where every other thing you've read or you've seen, you have to like someone or identify with someone. But I didn't with the Odyssey. I was just like going, okay, what happens next? So if Odysseus had been killed, I wasn't that fussed. But I wanted to know how he was going to die, which makes me sound a bit weird. But do you know what I mean? I mean, all the characters in it, nobody's likable. Nobody.
No, those are movies that's really interesting you mentioned that, because a lot of times people will watch a movie and, and you're right, they'll look for someone who they can root for, that's why in horror film, it's always the final girl, right? Everybody loms onto that person because
all the blondes in skimpy shorts are dead. So yeah.
We're all with her, we're all with the last girl. But when a movie comes out, or the hero, the last, here comes Rambo. Okay, we're all locked under him. But the thing is, though, it's like we all feel like we need, like when a movie comes out and there's nobody that's likable.
Mm.
it's a hard. I mean, some filmmakers don't mean to do it. They don't mean for them. Because you do want to have somewhat of a likable character, because otherwise people will turn off. They will just sit there like they'll just shut down. There's nobody there for them to root for.
You know what I
It's
found?
hard. It's hard for me
Sorry,
when I'm
Chris.
watching a movie. When I'm watching a film, if there's nobody there that's likable, it's hard for me to stay engaged.
I would agree with that mostly, but having to say, when I watched Succession, I didn't like anybody. I thought they were all terrible, terrible, terrible people. But I actually loved them all as well, because they were arseholes in their completely own unique way. And they're all fighting for attention. And none of them have a self-confidence, really. They're just, they're just cheating it. And I actually really, really felt for them, even though I didn't like them.
Yeah.
And I just thought the writing of that, as well as the acting, absolutely by everybody. But Mr. Culkin knocked my socks off. I just thought it was brilliant, and I could happily watch it all again. It was just wonderful, wonderful.
And me,
you're not cheating the audience here. You're actually showing reality.
It's funny because I read Brian Cox's autobiography, and Brian Cox is, he's a great actor. He's done some really good, But what I loved about his book was the fact that he turned around and he was talking about this horror film that he did, and he talked about the film. It was the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Fantastic.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Have you seen that one yet?
Sadly, yes.
Oh, Catherine, really? That movie?
I like the concept, but Brian Cox and I have a very odd relationship, because I think he is an amazing actor when he wants to be, but he chooses, and if he doesn't like you as an actor, he won't bounce off you at all.
I'll shut down.
Which I really object to, because the whole point of being an actor is you lose yourself and become somebody else. So your ego's got absolutely bugger all to do with it. I'm so important, and you're just going, well, you're not actually, because this play could be the death of you. So behave.
I mean, when you're directing, how do you? That's just how do you because you're right. I mean, he identifies himself as a character actor. In this whole book, he's sitting there saying, I'm a character actor. He wanted to be a leading man in Britain, but they basically told him that, you're not ever going to be, that's never going to happen, or I think it was, you could be a leading man in England in a very small pond, or you could go across to the US and become a character actor to a much bigger pond. And,
one of the qualifications over this is the fact he's Scottish, and he carries that like a weight on his shoulders, which doesn't exist for any other Scottish actor I've ever met or worked with. But he walks around going, oh, I'm just from a humble background. You go, well, so is pretty much everybody in Scotland.
Yeah.
What is different about you? So I'm sorry, it's one of my bugbears. And when I was performing in King Lear, playing Goneril, his book came out about being King Lear at the National Theatre, and I couldn't believe it when I think I got to chapter 3 or something, and he talked about climbing a mountain, and I went, oh please, everybody bloody says this, stop using cliches and say what you actually think. Is it a bloody hard part? Yes, it is. That's what you need to say. So it makes sense, but climbing mountains, my backside.
Yes. Sometimes the ego does get in the way of any actor. Like when they come by, I agree 100% with you. When they come across at an interview saying, "Oh wow, it was so difficult. It was, it's like it's a fucking play."
Yeah. And what is your job?
That's what it is.
You're an actor. You pretend to be someone else. It's not actually happening to you.
Yeah, right. It's not like you're out there, out there on the side of the road, making or building a house or anything like that. You're an actor. I agree with that ego right there is like, I'm self-important.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know how that. I don't know. Where do you think actors pick that up from? Is it? Do they pick that up in acting class?
Drama school. Drama school.
Drama school.
Yeah, because all the teachers are failed actors.
Yes, I've heard that.
Their egotism and their sense of failure is what they give to students. And I just think it's the most messed up system. I mean, thank God the boundaries on accents have changed, but certainly my mother went to RADA when she was a young actress. And she had a stutter and she had a Cockney accent, and they just bullied that out of her. They were actually smacking her around the face to get it out of her. Now, I mean, that wouldn't happen today, obviously, for very good reasons. But she actually spent her whole life thanking them, going, well, now I've got a career because I can speak, receive pronunciation. I don't stutter. And I said, yes, you do when you're angry, which she tried not to admit to. But I just thought, well, no, if everybody sounds the same, then that's weird. And don't get me wrong, I do love like things like Ealing comedies, when everybody's sort of hello and this is 6 o'clock news and everyone's dressed in a suit and they sound fabulous. But the joy about things like Ealing comedies or even Carry On films is it's English people, no matter how pretentious they're being, taking the mickey out of themselves. This makes me happy. And I swear down, there's not a friend of mine who can't quote a Carry On film. No one. We've all grown up. James, who was actually from South Africa. So the irony.
So they all know a little bit about the Carry On. I think over here for us, I'm trying to think of what British show that every probably Monty Python, Tis a Scratch.
Monty Python is outstanding. The thing that actually really, really confused me before I ever came over to America was the fact that apparently you guys like Benny Hill. I can't stand it. I absolutely cannot stand it because it's just a bloke chasing women, and that's it. It's one joke, half an hour, and I'm like, can we do something else, maybe?
I remember when Benny first hit. I think part of what it is, it's not so much Benny, it's the song. That song. I think that is what really is. That's what makes it endearing, and as it's not him himself, because I couldn't tell you a single thing about the man. I can't tell you. The only thing I can think of when I think Benny Hill is that song. And at the end of the program, there are a lot of cheeky girls there, but at the end of the show, there will be Benny Hill, and then they have the fast motion. They speed up the film, and that's all I can remember. I can't remember anything else.
The only thing I liked him in was The Italian Job, when he was the mad professor chasing really, really fat Italian ladies. In The Italian Job. Do you remember?
The first one, the first Italian Job,
the original.
Right.
That kind of worked because I was personally thought he was a bit of a perv. So now he's just buried.
I'm sure he was. Do you in Great Britain today? As far as the theater goes, movies being made, are there a lot of films being made? I know there's a lot of TV being made. Wow, I catch up on that. I was like, it's always I remember how embarrassed I was when I realized that Canada has their, whenever I heard about Canada, it was always because everybody went up there because it was cheap to film. And all the U.S. shows went up there; it was cheap to film. I didn't realize for a long time that the Canadians had their own TV network and their own pro.
Yeah.
And then I started watching them and going like, man, this is so much better than what we got.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is obviously with Mr. Trump's various tariffs, and obviously we just had a recent change of government. things have changed for the film industry. We were on our knees under the Conservative governments. All funding was taken away. All tax incentives were taken away. We were just sitting around doing nothing. But the tax discounts on investors, that's all back now. So I don't know, you invest 40% of a film and you will get it back from the government. I don't tell me exactly how it works, because it's a movable feast. But also, obviously, Mr. Trump is on good terms with our Sir Keir Starmer. So the tariffs have gone down, because when he first put them in, they were like 100% or something. Now I think they're down for 25%. Again, don't quote me, but I know it's on more favourable terms. So more and more international companies are coming here and creating more work for us. And the only problem with this is because of, and I'm not going to get too political on this, but because we, as a country, voted in Brexit, that means that most people from anywhere in Europe can't work here in any industry, which is obscene and incredibly stupid. So our farmers are just desperate, because the good homeland people here won't work for minimum wage, even if they're on benefits. They go, oh, it's beneath me. And you're just going, it's a job, do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, now, because things like in Poland or Romania are doing incredibly well, they're not bothered about coming back. They don't need to come back. They're making enough money now. And I just think, I just wish everybody would just put aside their differences and actually really, really think not about ego, but about financially supporting the country. And the fact is that the UK film and TV industry is one of the highest earning industries in our country, but we're not recognised. We're not given credit. So, for instance, Coronation Street, EastEnders, sold every single country in the world.
Yeah.
Whether you like soaps or not, it doesn't matter. That means our work's being seen, and it's giving money back to reinvest in other projects. So whether it's Sally Wainwright or Stephen Knight, that money is essential for making things like Peaky Blinders. And who knew that would be such a big success? And I never, ever thought it'd be a film, I have to say. I'm not talking about the acting, because Killian and Paul are just sublime. And God love her, Helen, who was a very good friend of mine. I was thinking, don't make any more, because without Helen at the helm, then, what is the dynamic anymore? Because the boys are all bonking mad because of the First World War. But yeah, I mean, obviously the series was just sublime. I thought absolutely perfect. But I haven't seen the film yet, and I'm kind of curious about it. I have to say, because I'm thinking, I don't know if the story sustains an hour and a half in one go.
I know they brought back Luther with the Ideas. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. People were just like, they were hating that movie. I heard that all the way over here. They were like, they did not like the standalone movie. They did not like it.
Well,
why?
Ruth refused to do it. My cousin Ruth Wilson. So she was obviously in the first series playing the very sinister redhead girlfriend, stalker. And that was her breakthrough over here. She'd won Olivier Awards and all sorts of stuff in theatre, but that was her TV big break. And then all she got was scripts casting her as another psychopath, and she was going, no, bollocks that, I'm going to do other things. So she set up her own production company to do whatever she felt like.
How's that working out?
Oh, very well. I went to see her a couple of weeks ago at the Almeida Theatre in Islington, which is like the West End but in North London. And Michael Shannon was in it, which ironically is actually my father's name. So, and he was an actor. So I actually told Michael Shannon off, who was towering over me. I had no idea that man was that tall. And I said, "You stole my dad's name in equity. You stole my dad's name." And he went, "Oh, I do apologise." But it was bloody brilliant. I can't remember what the play was called now. I'm tired.
I won't keep you much longer.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But it was amazing. Ruth and Michael, and it was all obviously in American. So obviously working with American as an English person is kind of tricky because you're trying to get every enunciation right. And for instance, when I was acting, I was doing a play called The Weir by Marta Madonna in the West End. And the problem was that I was playing someone from Dublin, but everybody else in the show was from Cork. Now, the problem is double for me here. One, my dad is from Cork, so I know the accent backwards. Dublin, I'm not so good at, but also I kept wanting to parrot the Cork accent because it's more naturally my rhythm.
Right.
But the Dublin accent is so much different. I mean, it's so different. So I'm trying to, there's a massive speech in it. It's a brilliant play. If you haven't read it or you haven't seen, well, you probably won't see it. I don't think they ever filmed it. But The Weir, W-E-I-R, is incredible. And there's a speech that I had in it, which is 5 or 6 pages long. And it's all about this lady's daughter dying, whose name was Neve. Now, as I've already told you, my daughter is called Neve. At that point, she was 2 months old. And I remember the first rehearsal, all I did was cry through the whole speech because the idea of her dying was just,
yeah.
Hormone City. I was rubbish. Dreadful performance. But once it was out of my system, I was okay. And then everything else kind of fell into place. But I think I needed to be that cathartic about it.
Sure.
Because I couldn't tell the truth if I hadn't envisaged my daughter dying. So I had to go through that process, but to get rid of it and then just keep the information, if that makes sense.
I sometimes I'll ask an actor, like, how do they get to that emotion, and they'll reach in and bring something up from their past, and they're always warned about that. It's like they'll tell us like drama teacher or acting teacher will sit there and say, how did you get there so quick? Well, I just was remembering my mom, and we're talking about acting coaches or acting teachers are generally failed actors. But I will say this I will say this in their defense, almost to a person, whenever they hear an actor sit there and say, yeah, I drew upon my past, they will discourage that so much. They'll sit there and say, you have to find another place to go, because if you keep going to that well, it's going to be dry, and not only dry for you acting, but dry for you in life. Like, if you could retire as an actor this year, 3 years from now, you could be sitting at your mom's gravesite and you won't have any emotion there because you've wasted it. You can't bring it up because
that's really interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. I was playing Sylvia Plath for 2 years, and every night, obviously, my children had to die, and I had to kill myself, and my husband was being unfaithful. And I thought I was handling it just fine. But there was one night I got back from work and my husband just said, "What's up? You look really weird." And I just burst in tears for about 10 minutes because I'd lived it. I'd lived that experience. And he was an actor and he just told me off. He kind of went, "Well, now you've experienced it, put it to one side, put it in the notebook, whatever. And then just recreate it." And that was the best advice I'd ever had. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't lying, but I was recreating rather than feeling it
Mhm.
in real time, in real space. Does that make sense?
Yes. I can't watch certain films even today. My wife passed away 12 years ago,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and
Sorry for your loss.
thank you. There are still movies today that I just can't do it. I just can't.
Oh,
I watch, yeah, it's just either that, it's it's emotional. Like I'm sitting there
yeah.
I watched this one movie called Lullaby, and it had Richard Jenkins, and he played the father figure, and he's dying, and they're in the hospital, and their family's all dysfunctional, and they have this nurse come in, and she's played by Jennifer Hudson. I wanted to go through that TV screen and slap the shit out of either the director or the screenwriter, not the actress, not the actress, never the actor. Always, it's like, what the hell is this? It's like, this is just garbage. This is something, you can tell someone who's not you can actually tell somebody who has not gone through something like that versus someone who has, because
Yeah.
they had the nurse coming in there being all loud and brassy and mean, and it's like, I spent 3 years around nurses, and I can tell you, I had never had a single nurse ever, not one time, ever come down and crack down on anybody. Not once. 3 years. Not once. Not for me. Not for anybody. On our ward. Not for nobody. They're all compassionate. They're angels. And I see
Yeah.
this betrayal as this oncologist nurse, and she's just being just like disrespectful, uncompassionate. I'm just sitting there going like, this is some bullshit is what this is. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, it just drives me nuts. It drives, because, and I got emotional from, was, thinking about that and watching it, and I'm going like, I just can't do it.
That
I
must have
can't
been a
do
tough
it.
call for you, darling.
Yeah. Um, I only got a couple more questions for you. I'm curious. I know we really need. You're gonna have to come back because you're just like you're just an awesome storyteller. I could listen to you all day,
Bless
and
you.
watch Loki. Um, who do
Yeah,
you
he's
think
still
right
here.
now?
He's still here. He just shivered, so I've put the blanket over him.
Oh, that's how sweet. Yeah, does he sleep underneath the blanket?
Yeah.
Oh yes, Paladin too. Oh, that's the other thing. That's the other part. The fur on his chest, and then I know when it gets cold, and he goes underneath the blanket. And
Yeah.
I could come in there, and I come upstairs, and I look, and I see this little mound right there, and it's like, oh, okay, it must be cold. Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
tell me,
sometimes if you don't look, you can actually accidentally sit on them as well, which is just
oh,
hell on toast
um,
because you've got a screaming cat
I
going, ah!
I'm very careful about that because since he is part cheetah, I don't want to end up in the
Oh,
ER.
no, fair play. Fair play. Not Cheetah. Woof.
Oh, uh, uh, um, but I was going to ask you, Catherine, who are like 5 young, talented British actors, male or female? Who would you recommend that we watch? Let's say we're new to British cinema, and it's sort of hard to say. Think about because I've seen so much. Um, well, I guess, yeah, I've seen a lot.
So young,
I
you're,
love
you're
British. I
talking
love
under
British.
30, presumably.
I I love, yeah, under 30. What actors should we keep an eye out for?
Wow, that's a big question. Whew. I don't know how to answer that because
You can offer.
you'd have to watch all the TV series I've seen for
Yeah.
me to kind of explain why someone is exceptional, and why they're important even against big players. Yeah, sorry, that's kind of stumped me. There are so many people I could reference, but without the reference point to give you, that kind of doesn't make sense to
There's
me.
one actress. There's one actress I've watched, and I'm really anxious to see where she goes. She's just starting out. I mean, just starting out. Her name is Lydia Helen, and I'm very curious to see where she goes.
I've not heard that name. Sorry.
She did a movie last year called The Little Mermaid, which is not the Disney version. His independent film came out on Lionsgate. But boy, she is. I guess
Lydia Henry. Did you say?
Huh?
Lydia Henry.
Lydia Helen.
Helen. Okay. Thank you. I'll look her up.
I'm curious to see what happens. And there's a young horror actress named Laura Ellen Wilson that it seems to be doing very well over here. She got her start in the UK, and she's moved over here, and she's doing really well. But I was just wondering if there's any actors that you've caught in your eye, whether being a judge at a festival or working on a series, that has caught your eye and it's like that's someone to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, but the actors who've really, really caught my eye are actually a lot younger. So 15, 16, and I've just gone, oh my God, you are going to be something amazing. But there are laws protecting me from talking about their names unless they're actually on screen, and certain things haven't been released. So I'm sorry, this country is just mad with laws. But yeah, when I've got artistic freedom to discuss these matters, I'm more than happy to share.
I was gonna say I could just send you. You can send it to me on Facebook, but now I'm thinking about the BBC van, and this is the last thing.
There you go.
That is bizarre.
I know. I knew you'd freak out about that, but
I am freaking out. I'm just thinking. I have some friends here on YouTube that are English, and I'm gonna have to talk to them. We're like, what the hell is that all about? But listen, I know it's late over there. It's like it's I'm thinking over here it's only after 4:30, but over there it's a lot later. So I'm gonna go ahead and say we'll just have you come back.
Thank you, darling.
If that's all right with you. I had a tremendous time. Thank you. This is.
I loved it. You're lovely. I really like you.
Yeah, I really like you. I really like you, and thank you, Loki. I really like you too, buddy.
Yeah, he's right here. He can hear you.
He's a lovely cat, and you got him as a kitten too. Next time we talk, you have to show me some of the kitten pictures. Yeah,
no, that'll probably be around Christmas. I want to. That will be his Christmas present. So.
Okay, all right.
It's all kittens being born in the UK at the moment are boys, not girls. So I'm having a real problem finding a girl kitten, which I find very, very odd. So I don't know if something's going on.
Is that because they're being trapped and released, neutered and released?
I have no idea, but it just doesn't seem natural to me.
No, it doesn't.
If you've got a litter of 8 kittens, it should roughly be half and half. But all boys, no, that's weird. It's like someone has put something in water.
Wow, that is weird. That's okay. I have to look
into
that.
That's not conspiracy theory. That's just a fact.
No. I want to thank people who came, and I know Sue's still watching us, and I'm not sure if Dom's still here, but if he is, thank you, and Jerry, and thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back here on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We will be continuing our Haley Bennett watch parties. Haley Bennett is my favorite actress right now. I think she's awesome. She's amazing. And we'll be watching Christy along with Haley and Ashley Green, who also did Twilight. And we'll be here at 9 p.m. I have never watched Twilight.
Okay, strap yourself in.
Lord.
And you're not a teenage girl, so I don't know what you're going to get out of this, because it's a teenage girl's fantasy.
Yeah. I've seen the author, and as soon as I saw the author, I'm going like, yeah, it's fantasy.
Right, darling, before you leave me, can you make sure you send me a copy of this? Because I run a thing called Kent Filmmakers in the UK, and every time I do an interview, I like to kind of post that for my members to kind of.
Sure, I will send. I'll send you the link.
And promoting work, so that would be wonderful. Thank you.
No, I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to send you the link, and you can just bring it up and ta-da!
Thank you,
and tell people to come by and join my YouTube channel.
I will. I will definitely do that.
We still got people here watching us. All right. I think I
Hey,
know
people.
that's Sue. I'm sure that's Sue. Thank you so much, Sue.
Hey, Sue.
They're a family of historians. They go
Oh,
around
wow.
and do all. Yes, it's fascinating. They go around to all these historic places as a family, and they talk about the history of the places they're in.
Can
It's
I
really
come?
cool.
Can I come?
Yes, I will send you her link too.
Yes, please.
Yes, I'll send you the link, and you can go over there and hit her channel. Definitely. Yeah, I'll send you one other thing too, but I'll save that for off camera. All right, that'll be it.
That means something different over here. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, not like that, but I mean, you'll see. All right, boys and girls, that's it for us. Thank you for coming out, and we will see you next. Oh gosh, we'll see you on Saturday, and then we'll be back here on the 15th. Obviously, there's no show tonight. You guys know that. I'll be back on the 15th, talking with Jacqueline Posey Hilton, and that will be on the 15th. All right, stay right where you're at for 1 minute. To everybody else, we'll say goodnight and catch you soon. Peace.
Ciao.